The 2017 Basic Education Certificate Examination has ended countrywide. Over 500,000 candidates sat for the exam since it began on Monday. Let's hear from some candidates who could not hide their joy after successfully completing the exams. They've been speaking with Hannah Odame.
And so with that bell, these students who have been in school for the past 9 years are finally saying bye-bye to the basic level, and they are done with junior high school. This is your final paper, social studies. How do you feel? How do you feel?
Very amazing.
Amazing. You're too excited to even say anything. Yeah. How was the final paper?
It was great. And thank all the invigilators for being so kind to us. They were super nice and everything went on easy.
What's your expectation after writing all your 9 papers?
Well, I'm expecting to exceed greatly in all the subjects.
So immediately, what are you going to do next?
Well, I'm planning by next week, I'll be traveling to my auntie's place.
To cool down, right?
Yes.
Yes. She has some powder all over her, signifying victory already. What's your name?
Juliet.
Juliet, how was your final paper?
Oh, it was very good.
It was very good.
Yes.
Were you able to answer everything?
Everything.
Okay, so what's your expectation from today?
I pray that the Almighty God is going to help me pass.
All the best with the powder all over her, signifying victory. More of her colleagues here, they are excited. They are happy. They are happy.
We're done with WAEC, so we are happy.
You are not finally done with WAEC.
Yes, but September we will see our results and it's good and we'll go to school.
I have another one of the jubilant students here. What's your name?
Belinda Labi.
Belinda, you have the powder all over.
Yeah, I'm very excited. And we are ready to go to the free SHS.
So whilst you prepare for senior high school, what will you be doing with your time at home?
We'll be finding for jobs and help our parents.
So I've been learning and helping my mother to wash. Yeah.
So for the rest of today, what's going on? What are you going to do?
Oh, today I'm going out. Sing, dance.
I'm with Raymond Kwame Jira. He's the supervisor of this center that hosted 6 schools. Raymond, your students are excited. How has it been this whole week?
It's not been easy. A lot of things happened in this center regarding some falling sick. And we have to make sure they write the paper, because if they don't write, it means they will write the next year.
So what did you do? You get them first aid and...
Yes, you have to manage and write.
How many of such did you encounter here?
About 3.
So. Did you start on time for all the 5 days?
Yeah, we started on time.
Did you have any instances where you caught students cheating and so you had to discipline them?
Oh, as for cheating, I have been very strict on them from day one, and they all respected the rules of the game.
How about absenteeism? Did you encounter any here?
Yes,
how many?
340 candidates and only 1 absent.
So you're waiting for 2018 when you do this job all over again. Are you hopeful and waiting, anticipating for that?
Yeah, we look forward to it.
So from the Kotobabi cluster of schools, my name is Hannah Odame for Joy News.
Meanwhile, the WAEC itself has said it will conduct investigations into reports that some of the questions that they set were not contained in the prescribed syllabus for the junior high school level. Some teachers that Joy News spoke earlier said that these questions that were set were rather meant for senior high school level students, but Public Relations Officer of the WAEC, Agnes Tekujo, has been responding to these issues, as well as speaking about also the conduct of the exam since it started on Monday. Listen.
Which of the syllabuses is the teacher using? Is he using the examination syllabus or is he using the teaching syllabus? Because we have 2 syllabuses. So the candidates are supposed to be taught using the teaching syllabuses that the GES recommends. You understand? I don't have the syllabus with me, so I cannot speak to it. I'm sure that my subject officer will be the best person to respond to or to give me more feedback on this.
Is the teaching syllabus different from Is the teaching syllabus different from the examination syllabus?
The teaching syllabus is more enhanced. I have the person in front of me. I don't have the syllabus, and I need to speak to my subject officer to get details. So I think that Monday should give us more time to interrogate this further after I've had discussions with my subject officer and to get more information on that. I would say that on the whole, the examination has been successful.
There were a few hitches on the first day, for instance, delay in exams materials and all of that. Did that in any way affect the success of the exam?
No, it did not.
And how are you dealing with candidates in Bunkpuru-Yoyo?
I think we have said that the candidates can take the candidates exam in February next year.
Minister of Lands and Natural Resources John Peter Amewu says government is committed to elevating the status of the School of Surveying and Mapping to a fully fledged training center for land administration professionals in the country. The minister said this on Friday when he inaugurated the governing board of the troubled institution. He charged the newly inaugurated board to ensure that the recent student agitation is duly resolved.
The Ghana School of Surveying and Mapping is a significant and a major landmark in land administration and management in Ghana. It is the aim of government to elevate the school into a full-fledged training center for land administration professionals in the country under the auspices of the Land Commission. The board being inaugurated today, Mr. Chairman, is therefore expected to provide innovative ideas and suggestions to make this a reality. The existence of a governing board is an essential structure required of any credible institutions to ensure good governance. It is expected that the inauguration of the board will ensure that all actions and inactions that, for example, resulted in the recent student agitations will be duly addressed and resolved.
Chairman of the newly inaugurated 8-member governing board, Alhaji Suleimana Mahama, promised to work towards achieving the targets set by government.
We are very grateful for the trust that has been reposed on us, given the very tumultuous circumstances under which we are coming into office. We will have to really put our shoulders to the wheel to make sure that what is envisioned for the school will come to pass under your tenure. We want to assure the Honorable Minister, the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources, as well as the Lands Commission, under which this board will be serving, that you are going to have our total commitment.
The governing board has a 2-year term and will be eligible for re-election. Last month, the School of Survey and Mapping was closed down following student agitation over allocation of some portions of the land on which the school was sited to a private developer.
Consumers and vendors of unregulated traditional bitters and aphrodisiacs are still patronizing these beverages in spite of the ban by the Food and Drugs Authority. The FDA declared a ban after some fell sick and died when they drank the popular traditional bitters. Mahogany. The persons, however, say drinks like mahogany have medicinal value.
3 people have already died in Takoradi after ingesting mahogany bitters. Doctors warn that because these bitters are prepared in unregulated environments, it is unsure what sort of chemical composition they have, and so you do not know what danger you're in if you take just a sip. Despite several warnings, consumers insist they take these bitters for their medicinal value.
Mahogany is good. Mahogany is a medicine. But the hypothesis itself they use to mix the mahogany, maybe the hypothesis is not good. It's not correct. You see, but when you use from the palm tree extract, you feel it.
There's some sickness, something like cold and things, and they normally say that when you mix the medicine with this Apioluca, like apetidentin, they work earlier, faster than like these ordinary drinks. That's why we prefer that one. And if you don't know much about them, you know there's any bad side and a good side. It can be a bad side if you don't know, but if you know the good side, I think it can help.
In fact, if you take it like this, we feel the food very sweet in our mouth. And after that, it helps us in our amenities that we do in life.
Many things like what?
Oh, normally we feel happy during our sexual intercourse. And the women also feel it very good with the men having them.
Vendors also say business is booming as more and more customers are satisfied with the product. Some even say they are certified vendors of mahogany.
There was a time when the traditionalists came here, and we were having an association. So they gave us this certificate so that we can buy the medicine from them.
So you buy mahogany from them?
The mahogany and all the type of the wood that we should do appetition. Formerly, they stopped us from mixing appetition with some wood. And this people came out. And so if you have this certificate, you know the type of wood that you use. They educated us, not that you go and buy the certificate for nothing.
People who patronize it, give praise to it, that it is good for them. Some is waste, some, mahogany, some for headache and those things. But those who patronize it says it is good for them.
It's nearly midday, and now this bar is empty. But the vendors tell us that around 4 p.m. and after that, this place will be full of customers. And she tells us that the majority of them will be ordering for bitters such as mahogany, irrespective of the warnings that doctors have given. It seems the FDA and the authorities have their work cut out for them if they really want people to stop ingesting and selling these drinks. For Joy News, my name is Daniel Daze.
And you're watching Joy News Prime. And still ahead, lynched soldier Major Maxwell Mahama, his remains have been laid to rest at the military cemetery amidst outpouring of grief from relatives and the general public. His family is appealing to government to erect a monument at the Tema roundabout.
Monument be erected at a roundabout at the end of the motorway that has been constructed, which has not been named yet.
We'll bring you more after the break. Stay tuned. You're welcome back. Now, it was an outpouring of grief at the forecourt of the State House where Major Maxwell Mahama's funeral took place Friday. Mourners from all walks of life thronged the forecourt to pay their last respects to the killed soldier. After the funeral ceremony, military men lined up on the shoulders of the street leading to the Osu Military Cemetery, reversing their rifles as a sign of last respect to Major Maxwell Mahama. Joy News' Maxwell Apapa was there and has come through with this report.
It is an unsmiling moment here on the ground at the forecourt of the State House. Major Maxwell Mahama's body arrived here at exactly 5:50 a.m. under heavy military escort as pallbearers brought out the body of the late Major out of the hearse. People here could not control their tears. They've put the body on the catafalque here, surrounded by some catafalque guards. Closely to the casket also are some flowers around it. The casket itself is draped in the Ghana flag. These hymns from the Central Band of the Ghana Armed Forces are supposed to console people here on the ground, but these hymns will rather stir the emotions in them. It's not all about hymns here at the forecourt of the State House. These friends of Maxwell Mahama are here singing some Jama songs, as they call them, to subdue their sorrow. There were tributes from people from all walks of life. Major Maxwell Mahama's wife, Barbara Mahama, reminisced about the good times with her husband.
Yo, what was for breakfast was the last message I sent you on Monday at 9:12 a.m. after we spoke at 6 a.m. and you said you were going to have your bath. For the first time in my life, I experienced a ripping heart on Monday night. I woke up to throw up. I had tummy issues too. I just felt sick. How you pushed me to be successful. You would say things like, do a research. Don't let your only research be your thesis.
There were also tributes from his parents.
I stand here today with a heavy heart to pay tribute to my son, my brother, my friend, because these are all what Major Maxwell Adam Mahama was to me. This relationship started right from his birth because
this relationship started right from his birth.
Vice President Mahmoud Bawumia read the tribute on behalf of government.
This was a soldier who on that fateful day was legitimately armed and could legitimately shoot at his attackers. But he refrained from doing so. Even as they sought to take his life, he sought to protect theirs. This is a soldier's soldier.
In an interview with Joy News, former Minister of Communications Dr. Mane Boama called for a specific law that addresses mob action.
After justice is done, and even during that process, what do we do as a people to ensure that we do not experience this again? We will need to have a specific law that addresses mob action.
Have military officers drawn from various units of the Ghana Armed Forces here lining up the streets leading to the Osu Military Cemetery. Well, these officers you can see here are from the Ghana Air Force. We have other officers also outside when you go outside the gates, right from the streets going down into the cemetery itself. Sometime in the evening of May 29, news started filtering through about the lynching of a military captain at Dentro Boase in the central region. That military captain would later get to know as Captain Maxwell Mahama, who was posthumously promoted to the position of a major, now known as Major Maxwell Mahama. Well, we are currently here at the Osu Military Cemetery, and this would be the final resting place of Major Maxwell Mahama.
And we say may his soul rest in perfect peace. Well, meanwhile, in Dentro Boase, the area where the young soldier was killed, traditional authorities and leaders there performed a dummy funeral to mourn his passing. Several residents have fled the area for fear of being attacked by his colleague soldiers, leaving mainly the elderly and young people. A man on the ground since this incident happened, Ohim Interior, has been speaking to the Dentro Boase Ochiame, Nana Kwabena Asare, on why they decided to hold a funeral as well.
Obiaba yobiaba. Who so obiba namwa. Anya wa maame nkwana ne ba. Ye nyina wo ye ba ta bia. Oba ne obi abehunu bia. Oba o abrema o ye wa wo ba. No wa wi ya etisa.
Community, Dentro Boase, to see how residents are coping and how they feel about the passing of the man they suspected for being an armed robber.
Nam Major New who you know. A dinner, a year yen neno. No, say, and so some Cassian in Abertoya sono, and so, ya mania, say, and yet Boapayo. And Ibreso, or see, and so, ye kakra, ewa. Tana pa ishia yen.
To me, and the saying.
Yes, there will be a fra brissier, a bishop, cocoa, sending me bishop black and red. Say a yeni one, sending a kind mamre, is here yeno, Sani a transia yeno.
Oh, anti yen say a year can you say a transia no panu sia, a weapon, best and you may know sia near we no more dear no breve and we know.
Yes, send a year, mamma, continue, yes, sorry. Ye castle be on Pagan Cacra, and one a mamma quite because you didn't question yet. And the Afrena, a Viabri, yes, I bet Transi. Near a Yanusi cancer.
So this is the chief linguist for Denkyira Obuasi, Nana Kwabena Asare, and he tells me, yes, as custom demands, the residents of Denkyira Obuasi have been in mourning mood. So this morning, their community, a few of the residents who are here, gathered here to pay their last respect to the late Major Maxwell Mahama.
Well, as a way of demonstrating remorse on behalf of her townspeople, a 64-year-old resident of the area, Joyce Ahenewa, embarked on a hunger strike. She's been telling Ohiming Teria why she took that action.
Obiaba obiaba. Who so obiaba namwa. Anyawa maame nkwana ne ba. Yenyina wo ya ba tabia. Oba no obi abehunu bia. Oba o abrema o ya wo ba. No wa ya etisa. Efi so wo ya kura minum nsuo minya hwe. Ana adua yesi ede na ekonnam. Naja yesori ya yekosu ya ye kakra menum sakakra pa abure. Fe ma sa da nyane a anyam min chade a monso mo ba betmene
inti ebro na otwi ni umfa aduane nka wa no
aduane de me de kama no sai ablanti a opeja fura me wo han so wo hana me abu kro betima peja me no wu awu ya se abara na abrewa madidi nya ema nyina ne ye ne je ho ye ne nyo ho sa kora no obewu na mra ye ne ye hunu ye no na mra na twom na kora no ofri yensa.
What this woman is telling me is that since the lead Major Maxwell Mahama was lynched in this community, she had been on hunger strike. She has not even taken any food, let alone to drink. And she's taking me through the process of childbirth and how difficult and painful it is to lose such a man in the capacity of Major Maxwell Mahama.
Well, let's stay on this a while longer because the family of Major Mahama has appealed to government to erect a monument at the Tema roundabout on the Accra-Tema motorway in his memory. The request is the first the bereaved family has made since the soldier was murdered at Denkyira Obuasi in the central region, where he was leading a team to fight Galamsey. Uncle of the deceased soldier, Emmanuel Bamford, tells Joy News they are hopeful the government will heed their request, as the monument will serve as a reminder to all never again to engage in mob violence.
It was devastating. It was around 2 a.m. when my phone kept going off several times in London whilst I was sleeping. So when my girlfriend, Monia, picked up the phone, he said, look, there are phone calls from Ghana, from your mom, from your sisters, from your aunties. When I answered, they told me this has happened. They didn't go into details. They just told me that Adam has been murdered. And I couldn't sleep from then. I started crying. I went to the bathroom. I slept there, throwing up, till I had to go back the next morning to my sister, the mom, to comfort her.
You had the strength to do that. How did she take it?
Well, there was no one who was able to break the news to her, the state he was murdered. So we all just said, he's dead. I took her phone away from her. I took her laptop from her. But when I dozed off, she picked up her phone because it kept ringing. And someone told her, we've heard your son has been lynched. She came back, woke me up, and said, tell me the truth. Do you know what has happened? I still couldn't tell her.
Has she seen the video?
No, she hasn't.
Have you seen the video?
I've seen it several times. I even saw it today again.
Why do you keep watching it over and over?
Just to make me feel comfortable and have patience. If I pretend not to know what has happened, I'll be angry. But I've watched this so many times that I can identify the people in the video. They had the opportunity, to create a hero out of that village, but they didn't. They all took out their stupid mobile phones to video it. If someone had tried to stop it, would have been part of the family. he would have become a hero, would have been celebrating the person from that village. But these ignorant cowards just took his life that way. I keep watching it.
Handsomely been given to the late Major.
I'll just ask one last favor, that his monument be erected at a roundabout at the end of the motorway that's been constructed, which has not been named yet. That's all I will request for. Do you know that roundabout?
You're talking about that Accra Tema motorway roundabout?
Yeah, roundabout, not Tetekwashi, but the one in Tema. It's been constructed. From my information, it hasn't been named yet, and it will be a privilege to put the monument there.
You're still watching Joy News Prime. Still ahead, 18 people incarcerated at the Winneba prisons in the Central Region granted bail and one person discharged after a team of judges from the Justice for All program sat on their cases Friday.
"13 were granted bail, 2 had their applications struck out, and we refused 2 applications, and the total number of inmates that we attended to today is 19.
Yeah, welcome back. It's time for business, and Emmanuel Abuajiriafi joins us in the studio now. Hi, Emmanuel.
Hi, Abba.
Pretty sad day today. I think
yes,
the whole country,
very sad.
you know, in a mournful mood. I mean, it's like a cloud hanging over the country.
But at long last, he's been interred, and I hope that the demands by the family would be, adhered to by government.
Exactly. But what's in business?
Well, in business tonight, some state organizations are yet to be handed or established boards for, because an institution like the Securities and Exchange Commission hasn't got a board up to now. The Bank of Ghana as well, and these are posing some problems for these organizations.
Should be interesting.
Thank you very much, and thanks for joining me on business. The current challenges facing the financial sector due to delays in reconstituting boards of some state institutions should be over soon. Joy Business understands a list has been submitted to the presidency for approval. George Riafe has more.
Sources say the list includes members of the Securities and Exchange Commission and the National Insurance Commission. These institutions had no board in place after members appointed by the previous administration were asked to step aside. It is not clear for now whether the list includes that of Bank of Ghana, which has also not got a board. Delays in reconstituting these boards, like the Securities and Exchange Commission, have affected operations of firms in the financial sector and the capital market. Most of these institutions are seeking to raise additional capital, and for those who are also waiting for their licenses to be approved for them to start operation. Joy Business is learning some activities of the National Fire Service have also been affected due to delays in appointing board members for the National Insurance Commission. We also don't know how the absence of a board at the Bank of Ghana is affecting activities of the regulator and even the entire financial sector.
Now, the country has the required structures in place to prevent it from becoming a hub for money laundering. That's the assurance coming from the Ghana Investment Promotion Center GIPC boss, Yofi Grant, as the country moves to re-establish offshore banking. He tells Joy Business government acknowledges the challenge that comes with the facility. The following Business Desk report has more.
The offshore banking facility would, for instance, allow non-residents to open accounts in foreign currencies with a licensed bank in Ghana. Individuals who open accounts at the facility would also not be taxed. According to the Finance Minister, Ken Ofori-Atta, government decided to reopen the center because it wants to make Ghana a hub for financial services in the region. Chief Executive of the Ghana Investment Promotion Center, Yofi Grant, tells Joy Business government acknowledges the challenges that comes with this facility.
Before you can do that, you need to look at your regulatory framework. The law has been passed, but it's just not that alone. You need to look at the economy as well. You need to look at security, such that you don't open your gates for black money, as they call it, or have all sorts of people use your country as a transit point for all sorts of things that are undesirable. So those laws need to be toughened. What we are gearing towards, I believe, is a stricter regime of compliance with the law. And not just rather block people, but let them in, but tighten the law to make sure that people cannot do the things that they are not supposed to do. Businesses don't do the things they are not supposed to do.
The offshore banking facility was established by the Kufuor administration around 2006, but was later closed by the NDC government over fears that Ghana could become a hub for drug money. Barclays Bank became the only financial institutions to secure license to operate the facility in Ghana. Countries like Mauritius and Seychelles have used these facilities to attract more investments into their respective countries. It is believed that establishing the offshore in Ghana could indirectly help make available some dollars that could help stabilize the Ghana cedi and indeed position Ghana as an attractive investment destination.
Now, the argument against the influx of foreigners on the country's retail markets seems to be assuming a different dimension, with some major stakeholders calling for the embracing of foreigners to enhance competition. President of the National Chamber of Commerce and Industries, Nana Dr. Appiah Adjei Dankwa-Wosow I, told Joy Business earlier in an interview that government must regularize foreign retailers in Ghanaian markets to facilitate the job creation agenda. But trade analyst Richard Ampabing, who shared his thoughts earlier on Business Live, thinks otherwise.
If it is about retail, that is where my beef is. Because now breaking barriers of production and bringing the goods. So if that will not satisfy them and that they will now want to have a hand in the retail market, as it were, I would say, and in the retail, let's distinguish between the petty trading and the wholesaling. I believe strongly that in our law, foreigners can do trading, retailing. But when it comes to petty trading, I'm afraid there's no nation in this world that they will allow you to do that. So it's all about threshold. So what is it that we are talking? If we are not careful and we open the gate, the floodgate, then of course we'll be in our own country and there will be nothing left for us to do. That's the caution. Systemic failure, and ironically, I have taken the trouble to do a little research into this phenomenon you are talking about. And it will interest you to note that most often than not, these foreigners come and they get our own indigenous to front for them. So you go into it, the shop belongs to, for instance, Ampabing. But Ampabing has nothing to do with the activity that goes on there. All that Ampabing gets is some commission. And that is ironical. And my beef is that we need to sensitize our people, see how dangerous it is for us to be giving our commerce in the hands of foreigners.
That was Richard Ampabing, a trade analyst. Now, finally, the Chamber of Mines says it is putting in place measures to engage university graduates in the fight against illegal small-scale mining. Speaking to Joy Business at a conference of young entrepreneurs, CEO of the Chamber, Suleiman Okwani, revealed the Chamber is going beyond engaging the private sector to bring the menace of illegal mining to an end.
This is a major challenge, quite topical in the country in the last few months, and it's important that they really understand that illegal mining is what it is. It's illegal, and they should really understand the nature and what the drivers of illegal mining are and what we can do to actually address it. Again, we need to understand that mining per se is not a bad industry. It is a good industry. It's really helped our country over the years. And it's important that we also sensitize them to really understand what the mining industry brings to our nation and the opportunities out there for them within the mining industry and its value chain for them to take advantage of.
Whenever we're talking about mining, one thing that we've finally realized is that most of these people that venture into this very situation are unemployed, and most of these people are the ones that you spoke to today. Where do young people fall whenever issues of illegal mining comes up?
Well, young people generally would always have a challenge in an economy which is not generating that many jobs. And normally you would find that jobs generally would be found somewhere within the manufacturing space and then the service provision space as well. The service sector is expected to service, so to speak, the real sector, particularly the mining industry and other large sectors of the economy. So, and therefore, when you have an economy which is growing gingerly but not a job-inclusive growth, then certainly you have problem with youth.
That's all we have for you by way of business tonight. Many thanks for watching. My name is Emmanuel Apuaji Biafi. For more news, business news, of course, log on to myjoyonline.com/business. Have a great evening and have a great weekend.
You're welcome back. Now, 18 people incarcerated at the Winneba prisons in the central region have been granted bail and one person discharged after a team of judges from the Justice for All program sat on their cases Friday. At Ankerford prison, the team could not locate the whereabouts of one remand prisoner. The Justice for All program was activated by the immediate past Chief Justice, Georgina Wood, 2 years ago, following Joy News' documentary Locked and Forgotten. Chairman of the Justice for All program, Justice Clemens Honyenuga, briefed journalists after their visit.
We did give instructions to the officers to ensure that when their relations or the sureties come, they should be referred to the registrar of the High Court in Winneba here, so that the necessary papers could be signed. We are making progress. Yes, last 2 years it was 42. Now it is reduced to 26. That's why I said that it's been successful, that we are really moving. We are really moving forward. We hope that the next time we come here, we should meet about 10.
61-year-old Kwesi Ofori, who has been on remand for 6 years, 9 months due to a murder case, also won his freedom.
The American found a medal Yanko Ponsi, so I am Adam. The
path I took, which brought me here, I will make sure not to tread on that path again. I will be careful in my life. I was in prison for 6 years and 4 months. Now I am glad and happy. Please, I am going home from here. By God's grace, I will find my way home. Now I am going to Nkwantene. I hope they give me money for transport.
Elsewhere, 5 persons have been remanded into prison custody by the Wa High Court for, among others, allegedly smuggling things into prison, sale of unregistered drugs and possession of counterfeit drugs. They are to reappear on June 14, 2017. 2 of the suspects have been on the wanted list of the police for allegedly smuggling counterfeit and unregistered narcotic drugs into the country. Rafiq Salam reports.
Tramadol is a synthetic narcotic drug and is used to treat people who have moderate to severe pain. The drug, however, has been abused over the years by others who are either not ill or having severe pain. The Upper West region is one region in the country where the abuse of the drug is at its zenith. Teenagers, especially school children, form the majority as they often mix the tramadol with 5-star energy drink to enable them engage in their recreational and nefarious activities. Worried about the negative effect the drug will have on the development of the youth of the region, Upper West Regional Minister Suleiman Al-Hassan 3 months ago set up a 4-member committee to look for the prime source of the drug and other medicinal drugs that are brought into the region through unapproved routes. The membership of the committee is drawn from the Pharmacy Council, Narcotics Control Board, the Ghana Police Service, and the Food and Drugs Authority. 5 suspects were arrested. The first suspect was a 16-year-old arrested at the war presence when he tried to give tramadol wrapped in balls of kenkey to an inmate. Further investigation led to the arrest of 4 others, including the alleged prime suspects, 47-year-old Sali Mumuni Yambo and 32-year-old Yusuf Jalilu. The committee was chaired by Upper West Regional Officer of the Food and Drugs Authority, Gordon Akurubu.
We'll be able to identify the main suppliers of this product to the chemical and then pharmacies shops in the region. Let me also add that this product, tramadol, is a prescribed only drug that has to be prescribed by a doctor before somebody can be dispensed with it. And it's not even a Class C drug where a chemical seller can put it in the shop. Therefore, it is not even advisable to go to a chemical shop adding to buy a tramadol. And also to it, this tramadol we have here by these importers who brought it through unapproved to the region are not even registered. FDA cannot ascertain the quality and safety of it. FDA had a complaint from Kinapharma Pharmaceutical that there had been alleged counterfeit of their quick action. And fortunately, we have also identified that those suppliers also add quick action into the region, which we have also identified. There were also aphrodisiacs that they bring from this unapproved route into the region.
A member of the committee, Latif Ajewurodu, observed that the abuse of the drug has led to the increasing of criminal cases among the youth in the country.
When you use it continuously, you become addicted to it. And because of the euphoria properties of the tramadol, people use it for recreational purposes. So when people go for fan fairs, when people go for other activities, they use it. And because of that high nature, high in quotes, high nature like the cocaine, people use it for most criminal activities, let me say, in the whole country.
Meanwhile, the 5 suspects were arraigned before the Wa High Court, presided over by the supervising Wa High Court judge, Justice Kwasi Boache. They were charged with smuggling things into prison, sale of unregistered drugs, and possession of counterfeit drugs. They have been remanded into prison custody and will appear on June 14, 2017. Reporting for J News, Rafik Salam.
Now, Kumasi-based Kesben FM's Andrews Danso Ahenkora is now president of the Ghana Independent Broadcasters Association. He polled 48 votes against multimedia group's Charles Van Dyke's 41 to emerge winner in a 2-horse race election at the association's annual general meeting in Kumasi on Thursday. Nana Sensumensa has more.
11 candidates contested for various positions to steer the affairs of the association for the next 4 years. High on the agenda at the meeting included assessment daily rating of radio listenership by research group JPO.
I now have the singular honor to declare Andrews Danso Ahenkora as duly elected president. Congratulations. I don't believe you.
Mr. Danso Ahenkora promises a more united Giba.
Decided. At the end of the day, it is the members of the association who have decided that this should happen today. In my message to them in getting elected, I promised them an all-inclusive association, a nationally owned association. What it means is that it is my intention to make every member of the association everywhere in the country feel part of Giba, so that at the end of the day, whatever we are able to achieve, it is all of us who have achieved it.
Outgoing President Akosua Agyeman, who excited about turnout at the meeting, wished his successor well. Nana Sensumensa reporting.
Hundreds of patients who throng the Wenchi Methodist Hospital in the Bono Ahafo region to be treated for urinary tract-related diseases can now heave a sigh of relief. That's because a 48-bed urology ward has been constructed with the help of the German government and the Ghanaian community in Landshut to improve specialist health care for urology patients in the region. Correspondent Nesta Kafwe Ajoma has more.
Hundreds of clients across the Bono-Ahafo region have been visiting the Wenchi Methodist Hospital for urological services over the years. Averagely, the hospital records 1,500 urology cases every year. This has resulted in congestion and the lack of privacy in the ward. Through the initiative of the Ghanaian community in Germany, the German government has supported the construction of a 48-bed urological ward for the hospital. At a ceremony to commission and dedicate the new ward, the Chief Executive Officer of Wenchi Methodist Hospital, Bernard Clement Kwesi Bochi, said the effective collaboration between the hospital, German government, and the Ghanaian community in Germany would continue to benefit the people. The president of the Ghanaian community in Germany also advised Ghanaians in the diaspora to get involved in the development of the country.
I was born in this hospital, and I'm from this area. When my mother died, I came here and I saw the situation. I saw people were sleeping on the floor. And the capacity, the ward was filled to capacity. And I then decided that, okay, the only solution to this problem is to get a new ward. So I negotiated with the administrator, and we decided to build a new ward, right bigger than what they have.
For the Municipal Director of Health Services for Wenchi, key partnerships are necessary in bringing quality health care to Ghanaians. The new ward, according to a urologist at the hospital, will help demystify prostate-related conditions.
Most men think that after they've been treated for prostate diseases, they will become impotent. I want to assure men that it is not wholly true. Patients who are undergoing endoscopic management of benign prostatic hyperplasia have minimal or no effect on their erectile function. So after the procedure, they will still be able to meet their conjugal responsibilities without any hitches whatsoever.
The new ward, which cost 49,000 euros, is expected to serve the people of Wenchi in the Bono-Ahafo region, whilst it strives to become a specialized center for the northern sector.
The phenomenon of high maternal mortality in Edu Swazo, a cocoa-growing community in the Elembele district of the Western region, is expected to reduce considerably following the commissioning of a maternity ward in the area. The area and its environs, where more than 5,000 people live, is notorious for frequent deaths of women losing their lives during childbirth. Correspondent Ina Thalia Kwanzaa has more in this report.
Edu Swazo, a cocoa-growing community in the Elembele district of the Western region, and nearby communities were faced with several cases of maternal mortality due to poor road network and lack of health facility some years ago. Women died on their way to give birth. Some children grew up without the love of a mother. Families were devastated. Some husbands had to raise their children alone until they were provided with a health facility. Even that, Enoch Lamte, a 35 years native of Edu Swazo, tells Joy News the incidence of maternal mortality did not end.
nti nipa ba ko di animu na eda no konsi na ba ko nso di achi nti se edom aka no a omo sympathizers let me say that omo adi achire sa two sets na omo di nipa no kono omo bra na different sets about sa ati se nkaka sa na nyame ya adom nya but na enye portable se ka bitina nti na ye di moto nti no so carry pregnant woman on the motorbike like that. Semiko wa no atranich mikro wa ne hopa no atranich granda to
Maternal mortality rate in the Western region has increased over the years from 75% in 2015 to 90% in 2016, due mainly to pregnancy-related complications such as excessive bleeding, hypertension, and unsafe abortion. That is according to the Western Regional Director of Health Service, Dr. Emmanuel Tenkwan. District Health Director for Elembele, Elizabeth Connie, says the maternal ward would help save lives in the area.
They are really living in very deprived areas. And like most of them, they have 4 children, which is really 7 days, 25 days. So with this structure being here, it means a midwife here, physician assistant here, it's going to serve as a birth center, which is really going to alleviate some of the sufferings of the women in the fertile age group, especially pregnant women.
Emmanuel Amakofi-Boa, former Minister of Energy and the Member of Parliament for the area, who lobbied for the ENI Oil and Gas Company to build the facility, says, as an Nzima, he always shed tears when he was given the scary statistics of women dying in Edisuazo and its environs.
Everything to do with all the women that have perished trying to give birth and the statistics that we have here in this area. In the past years, the story about getting pregnant and dying, just trying to deliver a baby was simply mind-boggling. There was no delivery area in this area. Women who were pregnant had to walk miles. And the stories of women dying behind motorbikes trying to reach clinics and hospitals were what really moved us. And so we are very, I think as I was speaking, I dedicated today to all those women who have perished.
For Joy News, in Athalia Kwansa, Edisuazo, Elembele District.
And I'm Arba Kumson. From all of us here, thank you for staying with us. Join us same time next week. Good night.
Is Joy News Prime.